Hey everybody, I'm SARA WISEMAN. Today our channeling is, it's really a choice, isn't it, to distract ourselves with surface stuff that doesn't last, or to actually focus on what matters. And one of the ways I might think about this is when you think of all the clothing that you've had, if you live in a first world country where you've had the opportunity to have so much clothing, you've actually had fashion, right? Through I don't know how old you are, but you sort of start thinking, okay, I was a child, I had these clothes, I had these clothes, and then I had those clothes, and then for a while I had these other fashionable clothes or out of fashion clothes, and you just start going through. And at a certain point, for a lot of us, in that teenage time, we start to really be extremely concerned about looking like and wearing and dressing and doing our hair or makeup, whatever, trying to look exactly like everyone else or trying to look completely differently from everyone else, which usually ended up looking exactly like somebody. So we spend a lot of time distracting ourselves with who am I, but not the deeper who am I. We were too young at that point. That's fine. We're just experimenting and explaining, but who am I? And then the full distraction of who am I, my appearance, how I show up on the surface. What are people's impressions of me? What am I projecting out into the world? And what am I what celebrities am I following? What fashions am I following? What trends am I following? And so we think of this as something that sort of starts in teenagehood, but as we begin to look at our lives, we realize it's kind of ongoing. And if you're a person that's following trends at all, like on social media, you'll notice again and again, especially fashion, decor. Now, this is pretty outer stuff, but there are these definite trends and people follow them. And then also there are these definite trends, say you follow sports, or say you follow some other group. There's these trends of thought. And so what we've got in social media is a whole bunch of people following different streams of thought or different projections of the mind. And really none of it matters. All of it's fleeting. Like, does it matter? I don't have a good example, but doesn't matter if wide collars are in or narrow collars. Doesn't matter. No, it's just a agreed upon group thought that takes people's interest for a while, distracts them for a while, until the next thing comes along. And so we have to look at, or we can look at, what am I being distracted by? And is it important in any way? Now, a lot of you guys are really visual in your approach, so it's fine to be visual. A lot of you have very specific interest, it's fine, but really looking at, is what you are spending your time on actually of interest to you? Is it actually of interest to you? And I've noticed, like, currently as I'm recording, this will probably date things a lot, but the Harry and Meghan big movie is on, and I haven't seen it, and I don't plan on seeing it. I don't really care about it. It doesn't resonate with me at all. And so why would I follow that trend to distract myself, to be part of group thought of those who are experiencing that? The idea of spending stuff on what actually matters is about spending your time on what actually matters to you. And if I'm not into the royals, say, I'm not going to put my attention there. If you're not into Kardashians, just as an example, I'm just trying to use what's sort of out there a lot. You're not going to put your attention there. And so really taking away this sort of addicted attention to what the group is often paying attention to. If you're not into celebrity stuff, it could be politics, it could be sports, it could be a lot of you guys are watching a lot of alternative new age stuff that's very, doom and gloom. It's very apocalyptic. Like whatever it is you're paying attention to, it's really good to step back and go, is this really important to me? Is this actually serving to help me in my own expansion? And once you realize, like, no, most of it is, it's distraction. And by distraction, it means like it's been put in the place so that you don't have to deal with your real stuff. Of course, you don't want to deal with your real stuff. It's probably going to be painful and messy and make you feel. Who wants to do that, right? Much easier to dive into a distraction than feel our feelings. So think about what actually matters to you, whether it is deep interests that you have, that you feel are part of your calling or your destiny in this lifetime to explore, or what actually matters to you is really getting your emotional stuff cleared so that you can actually be expanding in your consciousness. Or maybe it's something else, but now is the time to approach that rather than putting distraction in the way so that you don't get there, so you don't do this deeper soul's work in this lifetime. I'm SARA Wiseman, and I will be with you next time.